This is an Adobe Spark tutorial for the 2021 Learn Conference. This is your Spark dashboard. Similar to Canva, it has different options for what you want to create. If you're doing a video, you want to choose a slideshow. If you want to make a web page, click web page. And then there's other options that you can look at through by adding graphics. There's Instagram. It's going to size it immediately for what it would need to be for Instagram. And we're going to do for this a custom project. And it is going to be, we're going to set it up as we want this to be 250 by 250. This is going to give us a good size, a square size for making a button for our Canvas homepage. We have over across here, we've got our templates are up here. We have text here, photos. We can upload. There's a few we have fewer options as far as stock media is concerned inside of Adobe Spark. So there's a lot more options inside of Canva if you want it to generate a lot of pictures for you. But you can, of course, upload something that you have. You can connect it to your own photos of your own Google account. Icons really means clip art, pieces of art. And then we have design assets, which again, these are not as much black and white, but they are more photograph type things that have been turned into clip art style. And backgrounds. So lots of options here. And it's very similar to Canva, that you click on something and it's going to apply it there. If we decide to click on the image and say, I would like this to be the background, we can say, add it to the background right there. Anything that you put on here is going to have some options, things like potentially having a blur to it. If you just click on the dot, it's going to give you the option to mess around with that. And you can kind of blur the image and see if you like that, or if it just doesn't do what you wanted it to do. You can always unclick something if you didn't really like what your options were. This is going to give you some different options when you play with color. You're always going to have things like brightness, saturation, highlight, and there's not really a right or wrong, and it's hard to explain what all of the different options do other than just messing around with it and seeing, yeah, that works the way that I want it to or not. And it is nice that you can just turn off the filter or turn on the filter just by clicking on that little dot. And let's add some text to it. So we know that we need this to say disclosure statement. It's going to be the same thing that we did on the other tutorial. So we're making a button for our Canvas page. You can decide if you want it to say disclosure statement or just disclosure. Again, I added the text, and then over here in editing the text, I put that, I started making it over here. I can choose the font over here. This will have some different fonts. Adobe has a lot of their own fonts, and so there are some nice fonts that are, I really like the Myriad fonts. So if you're looking for just a good, clean, sans serif font, that means that there's it's the kind for any kind of digital print or digital media that you use a sans serif font. And now I want to download this. So I am going to press my download. I'm going to say that I want it as a PNG, and then I would say start the download. Now we have fewer options for downloading. It's important to note this, that they do not have an option for a GIF inside of of Spark. They do have an option for video if you include any sort of animation to it. As soon as you press, you add animation to something, if you add an animation, you are going to then have the ability to um, download it as a video. So we click on the animate video and I say, I would like to add this animation to it. Now, when I go to download, I'm going to then have the option of adding it as a video. So this will work for posting things to a website, posting things, but it is not a GIF. It's not going to play on its own. So for Canvas, it will not work as like an image. So we don't have that option there, but pretty fun stuff. And your projects are kept. So when you click back to Spark the home, that's right up here. And if you want to go to your projects, this is where all the different projects are that I have created. Let's just look a little bit at a video option. So we'll edit this option right here. And this is pretty, again, it's very intuitive. So it's like if you want to add a video, this would be that you had already filmed something and you were trying to add that to it. If you want to add text, then you click on text and write something there. If you want to add icons, again, are like clip art or photos. You might want to have several slides that have pictures on them and then add some voiceover to this. So this is not a bad option for kids to do projects. And if you want them to have a couple of different pictures, maybe as a presentation instead of doing it in Google Slides, you can have them put whatever pictures, whatever text onto their project. And then when they click on the record button, it's going to, once you say allow, it's going to say, press it down, talk, and it will go for the length of the slide, which is pretty cool. You do have a 30-second limit on videos, so it's going to make you do, if you have a longer video, you're going to want to pull down, you're going to have multiple slides for that. So WeVideo is a great program if you want to do longer videos. But this is a great way for kids to have a presentation where it's a little easier to tell that they were the ones who created it if they have their own voice recording or is recording on it. And then it's sort of an opportunity just to play their presentations for the class. And when you go to download, it's going to ask you well, actually, it just goes right to preparing your download, and then it's going to download it as an MP4. So, and it'll pull up the window to save, and you'll save it to your desktop. And those are the basics of Adobe Spark.